Hello, everyone, and welcome to Western Oklahoma Sports Night. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you on a Thursday evening in Western Oklahoma, talking sports with you a bit sporadically throughout the spring as a lot of sports going on, just not a lot of time to get on and yak about them. But we do try to touch on the major points, and one of those is anytime a player involved in sports in Western Oklahoma decides to play at the next level or maybe change directions at the next level. That's why we're going to visit today with Tate Sage, former state champion Weatherford Eagle basketball swingman, small forward, shooting guard. It's such flux nowadays, but you played a position at Weatherford for sure, and you guys came away state champions. But you've got some new news after we had visited with you back, I think, last fall, about your commitment to Drake University. You've got some new news that I saw on social media and trending online as well.
Yes, sir. So Coach McCollum, who was the coach at Drake University, where I was previously committed, just took the head coach job at the University of Iowa. So I went ahead and released my letter of intent from Drake, and I'm going to go ahead and follow them. And I've committed to Iowa.
Yeah, so now you're going to be a Hawkeye. I think you flashed a Hawkeye T-shirt a minute ago when you were about to come on the air with me. So a vaunted and historical program, the Iowa Hawkeyes, and Drake as well. And I know you were excited to go to Des Moines and play for Drake. Now you'll be in Iowa City, so you stay in the state of Iowa. I know I had some Drake fans reach out to me, and we're really excited to have you come there. But now I think in this day and time, Tate, that most of the world understands, you sign with the university, but, in college basketball, your relationship with your coach is very, very close. There's not nearly as many players as other sports. So you probably felt a real partnership with Coach McCollum.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the main reasons that, or the main reason I would say I followed him to Iowa, because I want to play for Coach McCollum and Coach Bryson Williams. And, if he can win at every single level he's been at, then I believe he can win at the highest level like one of these. And so even if I don't get to play right away, if I don't want to develop, I'd want to develop underneath somebody like him. And so I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, and honestly, we're excited for you, and I think obviously the fans in Iowa City and Hawkeye Nation are excited as well. Just I'd seen your social media post, and then I did a Google search for Iowa basketball, and several of the top stories over the last 48 hours have been your commitment to the Iowa program. And it goes back a long ways, and I can remember when we talk about Iowa, I mean, there have been some outstanding players come out of there. B.J. Armstrong back in the 80s and several big men and stuff. But you'll kind of step into a probably another swing guard position, kind of a small forward shooting guard. But you'll be in the Big Ten now. So what is the outlook on that in your mind?
Yeah, I think going into this, I'm just going to try to get on the floor and kind of do my job. To a lot of people that don't know Weatherford basketball, like I've had to play a role my entire life. We have 4 other college athletes on our team, which is very, very rare. So I feel like me playing a role previously is going to help me. And I feel like when I get out there, I'm just going to try to do my job and do the best of my ability.
Now, we talked last fall when you had committed to play for Coach McCollum at Drake, and just to jog the memory and refresh some folks, he plays a style that you feel is conducive to your game.
Yeah, I feel like I fit in his system very well. Like he's bringing his I think it was 4 players with him from Drake to Iowa, so he's bringing that style with him. And yeah, like I said, like I feel like my game fits into his system and translates to the next level very well. So I'm excited to see how it can fit.
Yeah. Now, the commitment to Iowa, and obviously you had to be recruited there because he made the move, and that doesn't necessarily mean that, that he's 100% going to take players that he brought in to Drake to Iowa with him. But obviously you got recruited to Iowa. That means you were recruited to a Power 5 conference, a D1 program. I can't think of anybody throughout my history of Western Oklahoma sports that's probably been recruited to a program that high, other than maybe Ryan Miner going to OU. That would be the only other one I could think off of right hand.
Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head. So I feel like it's pretty special just to come out of a sort of small town like Weatherford and
Yeah.
be able to go to a big program like this is something very, very cool.
Yeah, and I would imagine Iowa made the move to Coach McCollum because of what they saw from him and what they could foresee as success playing in the Big Ten with his style.
Yeah, I mean he won at every single level he's been at. He put in 1 year at Division One, and I mean he won the conference. And I think they went, I think it was 32-4 or something, somewhere around
Yeah.
there. But I mean, great record. The guy, I mean, he knows how to coach. So
Well, and they looked great in the tournament as well. I mean,
sure.
in that first round game, I thought they did. Or actually, did they play in the play-in game? I'm trying to
No,
remember.
they played Missouri first round,
That's what it was. Beat
beat
Missouri.
Missouri, and then they lost to Texas Tech.
Yeah, Coach McCollum probably took a lot of pride in that one, getting
Yeah.
the win over the Tigers there from his former state that he coached at. But so yeah, I mean, you'll go to Iowa City. Did you take any visits to go see what the campus was like, or what it looked like for a student athlete at Iowa University?
Yeah, I have not. I plan on getting up there soon, but kind of when he took the job, it was kind of just like a phone call, and it's like, hey, we want you to come with us. And for me, that was a no-brainer. I was on the spot. Absolutely. I don't need to go to the campus to make my decision. I want to play for him and be with those guys. So no, I haven't been up there yet, but hopefully I can get up there soon.
Sure. And, now it's going to give me a reason to watch Big Ten basketball. I'll have a familiar face, hopefully, real soon out there on the hardwood. So after the state tournament, and I gotta commend you. I mean, what a toss you made after the final buzzer to send that ball up into that old scoreboard. And then the dust that there was like a dust cloud. Maybe you
Yeah.
guys didn't see it, but I'm sitting there watching it, and the dust cloud just kind of fell. And I think I commented on it, but I think you said something in an interview that was pre-planned.
Yeah, kinda. So, I mean, as far as the planning goes, CJ said he wanted to grab the trophy, which we were okay with that. And then my thing is I wanted to throw the ball, so I didn't really necessarily have plans on throwing it on top of the scoreboard. I was gonna throw it as high as I can, but no, when I got it, it happened to be by the scoreboard, and
Yeah,
it felt like all that adversity just came off my chest, and I just
yeah,
threw it, and I even though we got stuck on top of the scoreboard for a minute, I didn't really care. We just won the state championship, so I just jumped right on the dog pile. But
yeah.
no, it came back down. It was awesome.
It came back down, and then the cloud of dust that was just falling underneath it probably the full 60 years worth of dust up there in that
Oh yeah,
scoreboard. But anyways, but it was a heck of a moment. And if you're wondering what we're talking about, Tate and his twin brother Ethan were part of the Weatherford boys basketball 2025 4A state championship team that defeated Crossings Christian. And what a celebration it was. And you mentioned kind of a release, kind of an end to frustration. You guys had played in 2 straight finals and fell, and then finally got the monkey off your back. Talk about what it felt like for you and your teammates after finally getting that gold ball and bringing it back to Weatherford.
yeah. Like I said, like you said, it's like a monkey off our back. Even even every day I go into public or I go to practice, there's always comments about losing the state championship game. When are we going to win one? When are we going to get it? So even Coach Bull says that. So we go into practice with a mindset every day. We got to get better every day. We don't want to lose that final one. Attack every game like it's a state final game. So we finally got there and took care of business, and it's one of the greatest feelings I've ever had.
Yeah, it was true. As a play by play, I wasn't out on the court with you guys, but man, I was over the moon with you guys, and just an amazing feat and just an amazing stretch. And I know Coach Bull, looking at his record during the time from the time you and Ethan and CJ came into the program, just an astounding run of play for Weatherford basketball, caps it off with the state title. And looking forward for you, you've got this commitment that you've made to Iowa University. What's your summer going to consist of? Will you get up there and have team workouts? Do they do things in the summer, or is it kind of show up in the fall semester and get started then?
Yeah, so I'm not sure on like the exact details, but I know I will be up there in the summer. I'm sure early June, one of the first earlier days of June. I'll be up there for most of June, I believe most of July. I'm not sure if I'll get to come back home just because I'm so far, but I think I might. But no, I'll get up there in the summer, put some work in, and then be able to return in August and start the school year in the basketball season.
Yeah. And so your brother Ethan, you guys are twins. You're going to be at Iowa City. He's going to be in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Talk about what it's going to be like to not be sharing the same court with your brother.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something different that I've never felt before. But I mean, going through our recruiting process is kind of one of the things we talked about. We sat down with our parents and we were kind of like, hey, we've been together our whole life. And, sometimes you just want to go live by yourself and go your separate ways. So we kind of accepted that. And yeah, it's just something we're going to have to get used to.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say I don't see you guys being that far apart that long. I just we'll see what happens, but that's just a guesstimation in my mind. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
see.
so you guys leave quite the legacy at Weatherford. You're moving on to a Power Five basketball program, looking to rebound. Talk about what your mindset is going into your initial play in collegiate basketball.
Yeah, I would say one of the first things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put on a little more weight, hit the weight room pretty hard. And then once the basketball season comes, like I said, if I get the opportunity to see the floor a little bit, I'm going to hopefully have the motor that keeps going and do my job. And I'm just going to try to go out there and help us win games.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you guys have, depending on what Coach McCollum does with you, if you get redshirted, if you don't see a lot of minutes, that'll be quite the different aspect for you that you really haven't had to deal with in your basketball career. Talk about what you'll do to kind of deal with that.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I've started all 4 years of my high school career, so coming into there and not being able to play right away is going to be something I'm going to have to adjust to. But I feel like I'm ready and excited for the challenge to be able to come in there and like try to compete and earn a spot is something I'm looking forward to.
One thing about you and Ethan and CJ and Nate when he was there, Nate Rareman, CJ Nixon, down in the post, you guys are all just so fundamentally sound. Is that something that you feel like? I know there's a lot of kids, a lot of high school players, a lot of college prospects that can finish, but you guys just seem to be so fundamentally sound down low. Is that something that you feel like Coach McCollum saw in you that he wanted to get in his program?
Yeah, I mean, first I want to thanks to my dad and my coach Bull because growing up, they've preached that over and over and over to the point finally I feel like we've got it down and help us win games. So no, like you said, I believe that that's kind of expanded my game a little bit, finishing around the rim, above the rim, some more can definitely help me and the other guys at the next level.
Yeah, because I mean, you're a solid 6'7". You could end up shooting up some more. I mean, the growth that you guys had between your sophomore year to your senior year was astounding. But I mean, we see it on a nightly basis, even at the highest level. There's dudes that just have trouble finishing around the rim, and it just seems like even against the better competition, you guys were just so good at doing that.
Yeah, I mean, at the college level, there is a different level of physicality and different level of speed, but I feel like once we kind of got that under our belt and kind of get used to that, then it would kind of be like the old ways and hopefully be able to finish above the rim.
How did your AAU ball, your play with the Rogue team, how did that help prepare you for the next step, getting into collegiate play?
Yeah, so I think I don't want to get this number wrong, maybe 5 people that have gone to college off my AAU team. So we had a pretty good team, played along with college athletes, and Coach Ernie Barber is one of the best in the AAU business. And so um, Coach Ernie has set us up against the best competition there pretty is, and even got us against the #1 team on our circuit, and got to beat some people that Duke committed, BYU committed. So we've got to play against like some of the top recruits, and I believe that's going to like prepare us for what has to come later.
Yeah. Western Oklahoma Sports Night here with you. Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, visiting with Tate Sage, former Weatherford Eagle basketball great, and now a commit to the University of Iowa to play for Coach Ben McCollum and the Hawkeyes in Iowa City, a Power 5 Big Ten conference, and a big step up from his commitment to Drake University. But, it's funny, Tate, in college basketball, There's big conferences, and then there's mid-major conferences. But when the tournament starts, those mid-majors, man, they go in there and really get it done.
Yeah.
And I get the feeling that that's exactly what Coach McCollum wants to see kind of translate to a Big Ten program.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand is that at every single level, people can really hoop and they can really there's players at each level, D2, D1, mid major, high major, whatever it is. Like you said, when that tournament comes around, it's just who can out execute each other. And so Coach Mack is one of the best at doing that. And so I've already talked to him about March Madness, and we're looking forward to making a run this year. Yeah.
Wow, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Back on your Weatherford time, and then we'll get you out of here. 4 years, as you mentioned, you started for 4 years. I said on the broadcast, I could remember when you guys played your first varsity game against Piedmont in the Elk City Classic. It was December of 2021, my first game for Weatherford basketball as well. But you guys came in. It took you a little bit to get rolling, but by the end of that season, you and Ethan both were just really solid players and made a semifinal run in Class 4A state, which anybody watching this from another part of the region needs to realize how competitive Class 4A is in the state of Oklahoma. But, talk about just what you feel like your path with Weatherford was and what you guys obviously the most successful stretch of Weatherford basketball that the town has seen. But talk about what it means to you and what your path was like during that time.
Yeah, to me, the word that comes to mind would be legendary, honestly. It was a slow start our freshman year because I'm not sure how promising we looked because we were all young and not filled out yet. But
Look
we had
chubby back in the day. It's funny. You were 6'4", it's like, maybe look kind of chubby back then.
Yeah, but we had my freshman year, we had great teammates like Kay Jennings and Tay Vu that kind of used their leadership and stepped up a little bit, took us to the state semifinals. Then the next year, it's just kind of like they handed it down to these young sophomores, and so like y'all drive the boat now. So that happened. We all kind of stepped up, and unfortunately did not win that year. And then same thing, come back. It's like, hey, we got to get this monkey off our back. We got to win one. See the same team, unfortunately lose in overtime. And then now it's a different level of, hey, we're not losing. It can't happen. Then finally be able to get one done and win the first one in program history is something special.
It really is, and it was an amazing run, and I was so proud to be part of it. But real quick, favorite teammate besides your brother or CJ that you played with over the years?
Oh, I got to give you just one.
Give me two.
Okay. I would definitely say Nate Rimmon.
Sure.
And either CJ Nixon or Romeo Senga. Romeo was in my freshman year. He was really like one of them guys that kind of accepted me, and he was like, hey, always talking to me, always walking me through stuff. And young freshman Tate, when I didn't know a drill, I'd be like, hey, Rome, like, what's going on? He'd explain it to me. And then, CJ, we've been by each other for 6 years now. So that's my best friend off the court. And so, just those guys are special.
Yeah, I knew you, and I knew CJ, and he's like the third Sage brother, or you guys are like the other two Nixon brothers, one of the two. But I'm glad you mentioned Romeo, because I thought, as much as you guys played all the minutes for so long, and there had to be guys who were just kind of role players or practice players that you guys were still tight with, and it's fun to see you guys stay tight with your teammates. So anyways, listen, I tell you, we're going to follow you all the way to Iowa City as long as we can. And just hope that it all turns out for the best for you, and that you have a wonderful career at the University of Iowa, and just so proud of the work you've put in and what you've accomplished and the good things that have come your way.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
No problem. He's Tate Sage, and he is a commit to the University of Iowa, going to play for Coach Ben McCollum in Iowa City, and will be at a Power 5 Big Ten conference. A lot of great history and a lot of legends with Will Purdue. I think that was another one from the University of Iowa that back in my old days was a big-time name, and I think played with Jordan for a while. But anyways, Tate, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Tate Sage with us. Western Oklahoma Sports Night. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Law Dog Sports, and go to the website lawdogsports.com. Thanks for tuning in.